to Itchy Tasty Podcast. I'm Jarrs, Jario. This is Raspien.
How diddly hey.
We do stuff.
This is true. We talk about survival horror games, but not today. Today we are changing medium. And it's mainly because there's the Resident Evil reboot movie coming out, which looks very promising.
Coming out
some point in the future.
I don't have my hopes up high, but I think it'll be better than the one we're talking about today.
That's right, yeah. So today we're going to be talking about the live-action Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies, which started way back in the early 2000s and went on forever. There's, I don't know if you've been keeping track of the movies, but there is a total of 8 million of them, and they get increasingly nonsensical.
Like the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah. How do you think
They're going to space?
How do you think these movies are regarded by like the wider public?
Well, I think in terms of just like fans, not Resident Evil fans of the games, I think some of them like them.
Yeah,
I've seen a few.
I think that's the big question: is like, who are these movies for? Because they. Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of these movies, obviously, they all star his wife, and each movie he puts her in a different costume. Basically, each movie is like, "Look at my hot wife," the sequel. And I like Mila Jovovich. I think she's really cool.
Yeah, she's a fan too. I think she just got put in a bad scenario.
Well, I get the impression she'll do any movie if like she feels like she'll have fun. And I think that they had a lot of fun making these, especially she did. She's like doing kicks and backflips and everything in these movies.
I think I'm pretty sure she was a fan. I don't know.
Yeah, and
it would be cool if she was.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think she said she was a fan when she starred in Paul W.S. Anderson's Monster Hunter, which I've also heard is real bad.
I haven't seen it.
The thing is, when the first Resident Evil movie came out, it was I would say that movies based on video games were pretty rare back then.
Yeah.
There wasn't really many of them. I think Tomb Raider had already come out at this point. I might be wrong about that, though.
I think also Mortal Kombat's movie. I don't know.
Yes.
Because I think that's in the 90s.
You might be right. Now, I know there's a bit of a thing with Mortal Kombat where Paul W.S. Anderson made it, and I actually really like the first Mortal Kombat movie, and it's got that banging soundtrack. Paul W.S. Anderson didn't come back for the second one, and he hated the second one. He said that it was like the worst movie, and it would have been completely different if he made it. And it's because of that he stayed so involved in each of the Resident Evil movies, because he was like, this is my franchise, and I'm going to sculpt it the way I want. And he did.
And he didn't do it well with Resident Evil.
Now, when you think of adapting a video game, well, not just a video game, but Resident Evil was a series of video games in a long timeline, you would think that like the first movie is the first game, the second movie is the second game. That's not really the way these movies work, is it?
Nope, not at all. The first movie is, I don't know, the second one's Resident Evil 3, kinda. The third one's Mad Max. Those are the first they were going to talk about today.
Yeah. So I would say that the first two are at least in the same universe as the game, sort of.
Yeah, I could see that.
But it's by the third one that it really takes a turn. And we'll get to that. But let's start with the first one. So it's 2002. I think I watched this on a pirate disc when it first came out. And it was like filmed in the cinema. It was filmed in the cinema and it looked like crap. But I think I watched it about 5 million times. What do you remember of the first one? Oh yeah, word for word. So you tell me the storyline of the first movie.
Really? Oh fuck.
Yeah, go for it.
I did watch a recap, so
go on then.
Like, you got like these two peoples, right, working for Umbrella.
Oh yeah.
And they're working for Umbrella.
Yep, you've said that.
That is what they do.
Yep, strong knowledge,
And when they're working for Umbrella,
which you've told me
they
3 times now. Yep.
well, let me finish. It all makes sense in the
Wait,
end.
these two characters, where did they work?
Umbrella.
Oh, okay, yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so these two Umbrella workers that work at Umbrella,
Oh my god.
they're all like fake married to the rest of the world, which I gotta respect.
Oh yeah,
And they're just like, oh wow, we live in this mansion, but secretly under this mansion where we work at the Umbrella Corporation, where we work,
correct.
there's like some scientists. Is
Yeah,
that no
it's
scientists?
not even nearly a word.
Yeah, scientists. They're all like, ha ha ha, zombie exists now. Ha.
And that's the
And
storyline.
that's the movie. Yeah.
Wow, that was bad. that was rough. I will be honest.
I did not sleep well.
That's
I'll
fine.
just use that.
So, so the basic premise of this movie is that it features the mansion because the first game is set in a mansion that's above a secret laboratory. The movie features the mansion, but only for about 2 minutes. The entire movie is set in the secret underground lab, which they call the Hive because it looks like a beehive. And the main character isn't Chris, it's not Jill, it's not any of those. It's an OC called Alice.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason she's called Alice is because there's a few mixed metaphors going on. The main villain is like a computer AI called the Red Queen. So there's like a bit of she's Alice in Wonderland type thing. But then the place is also called the Hive, and they should have called it Wonderland or something. Do you see what I mean? It's like mixed metaphors going on.
Yeah, Silent Hill did the Alice in Wonderland metaphor first, though.
Yeah, it's weird, but so the movie starts with Alice waking up in the shower, and it's got a bit of nudity. Watch out, kids.
Oh, if we're gonna do nudity, we gotta talk about the second movie first. God.
We're not talking about the second movie first. We're talking about the first movie first.
Well, okay, to be fair, they're out of order. Why can't we be?
They're not out of order. The movies are set after each other, I think. Anyway,
I am pretty sure you can switch like two of the last
well,
films. I don't know.
definitely not the first one. But the point is,
Yeah, first one.
Alice is like a security officer for Umbrella, and she's living a fake life in the mansion, like you said. And a bad guy tries to seal a virus, and he ends up spreading it. And the AI controlling the hive kills everyone in quite an awesome scene, actually. I'll say.
Oh yeah, the elevator scene. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
to be honest, I would actually say
That was cool.
the opening scene of this movie is probably one of the best parts of the whole movie because you get to see like Umbrella scientists just kind of working, and
Yeah.
you very rarely see that even in the games, right?
Yeah, usually they're panicking.
Yeah,
Like,
or
I think
dead.
probably, or dead, or zombies,
But
or hunter zombies that
Also-
kill me.
also, I got to give this movie credit. I think the vial that the T virus comes in looks so cool, like that kind of swirly canister thing.
That is pretty cool. But it is airborne, which it's not in the games.
Yeah, and also it's like super airborne. Like I always got the
Yeah.
impression that airborne meant that a virus transfers through like sneezes and coughs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that is what airborne is.
But in this movie, airborne means it like becomes the air, and it goes through the vents. And what's really strange is the Red Queen, the AI, detects that the virus is loose in the lab, and then she shuts everything down to seal off the lab and keep it contained. And then she kills everyone. But she should know that them dying will turn them into zombies, right? So this is what I'm saying. Why did she do that?
Well, we need zombies. It's
We
not
do,
gonna
yeah.
be Resident Evil, and like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
I also really like the scientists that are stuck in the lab with the sprinklers turned on, and the room's sealed, so the water from the sprinklers isn't going anywhere, and it fills the entire room, and they drown in the lab.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And like you said, there's the scene where the woman sticks her head out of the elevator, and then the elevator turns on, and it like cuts her head off. Very cool.
Yeah, remember watching that with my dad.
Um, so Alice wakes up in the shower and she's gone in memory. They do an amnesia thing in this movie. And she wanders around the spooky mansion. And I think the slow bits like this are when the movie's like at its best, when it's tense and slow, when it doesn't go into like dumb backflips and action, which it does quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Don't worry, Alice does kick a dog.
She does kick a dog, and then
She kicks like 20.
she does. She kicks quite a few dogs in this movie, but then our main kind of action heroes turn up. They burst through the window, and it's basically like Hunk and all of his buddies, right?
Except they don't wear masks, and they're not actually hunks.
Well, they actually do wear masks when they first come in. They're wearing gas masks. But what's really strange about the gas masks is they don't have ventilators on, so I don't know why they're wearing gas masks. That's just me having a problem with that bit of the movie.
The coolness factor.
It is very cool. And she meets the guy from Ugly Betty. What's his name? I think his character's name is Matt, but he's the boss from Ugly Betty. You remember that, right? I don't remember that.
I really don't. I remember Matt because I remember something in the second movie with him.
Yeah, well, he's like, I'm a cop, but I might not be a cop, and I'm actually clearly not a cop, and all this, and
I'm also the environmental environmental activist.
That's right. He turns out to be an environmental activist, doesn't he? And he's like trying to get dirt on Umbrella, and I think his sister like works in the lab or something. I can't really remember.
And Alice has a contact with her in liquors.
Yep. And then finally, the other character I wanted to get to is they meet in the train. And the train, by the way, looks amazing. It's like one of my favourite things in the movie. The train is dead on. The train from RE2, right? Is dead on. It looks exactly like the train from RE2. It's so good. But when they get on the train, they meet...
I'm happy for you.
They meet the main bad guy, which is the guy from Rome. The actor from Rome, James Purefoy, one of those. And I always thought it was really weird that he's in this movie because he's a real, actual, proper actor, and this is way below him. This movie.
Money.
Do you remember what his character's name is in this?
I think Spencer.
It's Spence, which is one of the very few links to the actual game. What's really strange is this movie doesn't feature any characters from the game at all. There's not a single character in this game that's from this movie that's in the game.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, it's so odd that it's a game adaptation that doesn't feature a single character from the game. But it does feature Michelle Rodriguez.
Yay!
And she's Vasquez from Aliens, basically, in this. She's just tough girl, and there's lots of shooting, but the movie does that thing where it like shows all the characters being super tough, and then it kills them all off to make the situation seem harrowing, and it kills them all off in the most memorable scene of the entire movie, I would say.
Agreed. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's right, when they go down the laser room, which was later replicated in RE4.
Which we talked about.
We did, yeah.
Last week.
Yeah. The lasers are...
Was the Village Showcase happened and we're talking about the movies.
That's right, yeah. Take that, the world.
Yeah.
The lasers are kind of weird.
Village Showcase.
Yeah, the lasers are kind of odd.
Yeah.
Because, like, they don't go all the way to the door. I always got the impression if you just stood at the door, they wouldn't reach you.
Wait.
They like,
true.
Yeah, they start like about a meter in front of the door. So, I don't know what's going on there. But also, what's really strange is the lasers like increase in difficulty, which I always thought was really funny. Like, it's like one laser that kills most of them, but the main guy does some fancy acrobatics and dodges them. And then I think the second laser moves. And then the third one is the big one, right?
Yeah, the big one that he dies from and turns into shredded cheese.
Yeah, it slices him into... Well, it dices him, I guess, is exactly what it does. And then
because it's all cubes.
Yeah, and then all the other characters are like, oh no, it's that part in the movie when it's only us and we're we've lost everything now, and we got to get out of here. And then a lot of the movie is them just kind of fumbling around. I tell you what, I do remember a lot of in this movie. There's a lot of hologram maps of things.
Oh yes.
Like there is a lot of that in this movie.
Is that really even a bad thing?
Nah, it looks awesome. Everything in the Umbrella Corporation is holograms. Holograms and 3D renders of things.
That was my name in high school.
3D renders of things.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really didn't like about this movie is they only ever meet the zombies in huge groups. Like there's very few scenes where they fight just like one zombie. They fight 1,000 zombies or no zombies.
Well, Alice does kick a few dogs.
She does.
Can we talk about
let's talk about
kicking dogs.
Let's talk about the dog scene. So it's kind of a fan service. She walks into a room with a bunch of guard dogs, and everyone's like, "Oh, I know what this is going to be. It's the dogs from the movie." And then, doesn't she try to take a gun from a dead guard or something?
Why are you asking me?
You don't remember? Okay, well, I'm pretty sure she tries to take a gun from a dead guard.
I don't remember.
And then the dogs attack, and she kicks them. I think.
Yes, straight up in the face with, I think, high heels.
She does like a run up the wall.
That would hurt.
Well, it hurt the dog more.
It would hurt the dog. Well, like high heels are pretty sharp. I think. I don't know. I've never been stepped on before with high heels.
Well, there's always time.
Yeah, Raspien, you can help with that.
So, this movie ends with them fighting a licker, I believe, or maybe a hunter. I think it turns into a hunter.
I think it's just a licker. I'm really hoping it's just a licker.
Well,
that's not how anatomy works.
Oh, you're in the wrong series if that's the sort of thing you'll be criticizing.
Anatomy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a licker that kills Spence and starts eating him, and then the Red Queen says a line that's like, but now that it's feasted on human flesh, it will mutate into a bigger, faster hunter. So, but I don't know if it actually is a hunter, but it turns into kind of a bigger, more clawy version of a licker.
Which those exist.
Which they end up fighting on the train at the end, and I think they hit it with a bunch of pipes, and it falls under the train at the end. I think that's how they kill it.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Oh, yeah, should we talk about how Matt gets, like, abducted... Or Alice and Matt get abducted into the Umbrella Corporation?
So they are the only two that survive at the end, Matt and Alice, and they get out, and Matt gets slashed by the mutated licker, and he's got that awesome wound with, like, maggots coming out of it or something. Yeah, and that looks pretty rad. And
radical.
And they get up to the mansion, and then the dude, the CSI looking dudes come out, and they're like, transfer him to the Nemesis program.
Dun dun dun.
And everyone in the audience is like, oh snap, snappity snap.
Well, every Resident Evil game fan in the audience.
Yeah, and the rest of the audience is like, what is that? A sports drink? What the hell are they talking about?
Because I mentioned I watched it with my dad, who knows nothing about the games.
What did he think?
I was like, what? He was like, what the fuck is that? He didn't say that. Obviously, he's my dad. He's very wholesome, because you're not the... I don't know.
He was like, it was like, did this really happen?
Yeah, he didn't know who Nemesis was.
Oh, well, he would later find out. 2 years later. Mm-hmm. But do you remember the last scene of the movie?
Oh, yeah. Where, like, Alice pulls it 28 days later.
She does.
She says, like, oh, yeah, I walk out of hospital, shotgun time.
Yeah, she has it's a pretty awesome shot, to be honest, where it's like...
It is pretty awesome.
She walks out with the shotgun, and it zooms out, and the whole city's, like, destroyed. But we don't see any zombies, but we know what's going down. And I thought it was a pretty cool ending. So there are parts of this movie that I like, and I think it's definitely the Resident Evil movie of the entire series that I think is trying the hardest.
Yeah.
Maybe the second one, but I think this one is the one that takes itself the most seriously, which is something the series desperately needs later on. But
Okay.
my main problem with this movie though is that it's just boring.
It
It's
is.
so boring, and like it bugs me when people are like, "Oh, the first one's the best one." Firstly, they're all terrible. Okay, so if you're
Yes.
comparing what's the best one, they're all terrible. And yet, the first one is the only one that kind of actually is a horror movie, but it's so boring. At least the other ones are
It
fun to
is.
watch.
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna mention my personal experiences
Oh
again,
yeah.
because I also watched like the first 20 minutes with my brother. There's a
Okay.
reason we
What?
didn't get past the other 20 minutes
Why?
because he stopped,
Okay. Why did he
and I
stop?
had to watch it because it was really boring.
It is really boring. Yeah.
Like I don't even think he got to the zombies.
To be fair, there is a lot of this movie before zombies turn up,
Yeah, there's
and
like 40 minutes, I think. I don't
that
know.
is kind of the problem with the second one. So let's move on to the second one. So it's 2004. I saw this in the cinema. This one,
Ooh, not pirated.
no,
Nice.
and I think I was too young to see it. I think me and my friends snuck in, and
Wow.
yeah, and all my friends were like, "Oh, we're going to go see a horror movie. You know, it's kind of cool." And I was the only one that was like, "You've seen the trailer, right?" like, like this is not going to be a scary experience. This is like the trailer features a woman running down a building. Um,
And
and
were you a fan of the games before this or no?
not a massive fan, I knew what was what. I'd watched my brother play them. I knew who the characters were. I knew who Nemesis was. So there was a lot I could recognize from this. But I think now that I'm a much bigger fan, I understand where they were sort of going more, because I would say, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, but the second Resident Evil movie, Apocalypse, is, which I don't know why it's called Apocalypse, by the way, because that doesn't happen in this movie.
It happens in the next one.
Yeah, very dumb. But anyway, Resident Evil Apocalypse. I would say this one is the most faithful to the games
Yes,
out of all of them.
specifically RE3.
Yeah. And it's because it actually features some characters. I think three
I
characters
think,
from the game are in this.
yeah, only one of them I don't even think has a speaking line though. So
Yeah. So one of the main characters is Jill Valentine, and she is the best thing in this movie.
I disagreed.
You disagree. I think she's the best thing in this movie.
Carlos.
Oh yeah, Carlos is in this, and
Carlos.
he's played by Oded Fair from The Mummy as well, and he's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's
He
possibly
is
a
so
bit
cool.
old to be Carlos, because I got the impression that Carlos was kind of
Well,
like in his early 20s.
to be fair, Alice beats Nemesis in a fist fight. So
Well, Alice, in my opinion, is the main problem with this movie. So let's just a quick summary of what the movie's about. Give me the storyline.
the last time I did this,
It
I
was
mentioned the main characters worked on Umbrella like 6 times. No
yeah,
more than six. 10 times
it was
at least.
beautiful. Go on then, lay it down for me.
You want me to do this again?
Yeah,
Alright, so former Umbrella employee that used to work at Umbrella was like, yo,
oh
yo,
yeah,
yo, I'm waking up in the apocalypse, but it's a small apocalypse because it's in Raccoon City, a zombie abyss. And there's zombies all over existing, being zombies, eating people, not eating people, and, the citizens, trying to escape because, like, they're just zombie phobic.
zombie
I don't
phobic,
know. Yeah, are you zombie phobic, Raspien?
massively, and that's from my
You're
family.
massively
Yeah,
zombie phobic.
yeah, I just don't agree with them politically.
No, it's not nice.
Yeah, well, it's their fault for being undead.
Well,
Um,
anyways, most of the citizens are zombie phobic. So, one of the super cops, if you will,
Jal Valentine. Yep.
fuck,
Yep.
fuck.
And what did Jal do?
You know what fits? I can go with this.
Okay, go on
So
then.
Jal, the super cop.
Oh yeah.
The reason the reason she was called Jal is because she's not actually Jill.
Okay, sure.
I did that on purpose.
It's beautiful.
So Jal Valentine, is killing zombies,
She is.
going to the police station, meeting up with her other stars friends. That's really all I can think of.
Okay, cool.
And oh wait, no.
Oh yeah.
And then there's this one other guy who crashes into like a fire hydrant and sees like two topless zombies
Oh my
and
god, I forgot
yells,
about that.
"This is like it's like GTA in real life," and it made me cringe.
So you're talking about LJ, the comic relief character,
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't. There's a part where some guys they're like, "Are you armed or something, or do you need a weapon?"
Oh,
And
fucking was
he's got two
so
gold guns.
yes, which
And doesn't he say like, "That shit's custom" or something?
that shit's custom. Yeah,
It's real classic
you
stuff.
know, in the original Resident Evil. I remember you told me this. There's the I don't know where I was going with that. But there's the black comic relief character.
Oh, and
Guess
that
who took that?
yeah, you're right. He's this in this movie.
He's back.
Yeah. So the premise of this movie is that this time it's the city, and much like how I loved the start of the first movie, I think the start of this movie is also my favorite part of the whole movie. Which is like you see a quick summary of some scientists trying to open the hive, and they do it really badly, and they get attacked by a bunch of red dots. And it's like, oh no, we've opened the hive, and all the zombies got out. And then you see kind of a montage of a bunch of like black SUVs and umbrellas like going around evacuating the VIPs, and among them is Dr. Ashford. So there you go, another character we throw in there.
Hey,
Yeah, so
that's great.
we got another Resident Evil alumni who's a doctor now, I guess, because I didn't get the impression that Ashford was a doctor in the games.
Well, I think he was because he did something with the T virus or the progenitor virus.
Something, who knows? But anyway, he's in it. He's another actor who's way too good to be in this movie.
Yeah.
I think the main villain in this is a made-up character. He's called Major Kane, and he's got kind of a European-y accent. But I don't think he's anyone from the games.
I remember the way he dies in this movie. I did not like.
Everything in this movie is terrible.
Well, I like Nemesis's costume.
Yes, although his head is way too
It's pretty
big.
cool.
His head is
Yeah.
too big. It looks ridiculous.
And also, there's the one part where Nemesis is like going to the Stars building because they have their own building apparently.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're
And
right.
he,
It's not the
like-
police station, is it? It's the Stars building.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
And he whips out like a freaking minigun. And then there's a sniper on the roof. The cowboy Texan snipers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wait. No,
Boy, howdy.
Yeehaw!
God,
I
that's
see that little Nemesis little sucker right there. I'm popping him in the head.
that direct quote.
Doesn't know.
Okay.
But it's not a direct quote. And the thing is, he doesn't even shoot Nemesis in the head.
Even though he shot the zombies in the head.
Yes.
That's dumb.
Sure, he's under the influence of the alcohols, but still, like, what the fuck?
Does he gets bazookaed, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Jill's in this movie, but she's the only Stars member from the game that's in this movie. Because her main companion in this movie is I can't even remember his name, but I think his name's Sergeant Wells, and he's
I liked him.
yeah, he's a cool character, but he's a Stars team guy that just is made up. And I just feel like, why do they keep doing this? Just put the characters from the game in the movie.
You could have literally put one of the Bravo team members even.
Totally,
be
yeah.
fine with that.
Make him Forrest or whatever. I don't know, but you're right. That scene when Nemesis is walking towards the Stars building, it cuts to the Umbrella people, and they're like, "Who are they? They're the Stars team, best of the best."
Really not.
And that's it.
They have their own building.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have my building.
Um,
They need my building.
But I can tell me what you think about this. I think this movie is pretty good until Alice turns up, and then I think the movie is real bad.
Yeah.
Because when one of the first places they go to is the church, and it's kind of a spooky scene. You see Jill like walking around with a pistol on her own, and it's very Resident Evil.
And then
lickers turn up, and then
Two lickers.
Two lickers turn up, and it's kind of a spooky scene. Although the lickers aren't blind in this, which is a bit weird.
What?
Yeah, they can see them, because I think there's even a shot like from their vision, which is dumb, because that's like their whole thing is that they're blind.
Their whole thing is they're blind and they have long tongues.
Yeah, but not in this. They lick, but they also
Well,
can
they have
see.
long tongues,
They do.
but they don't. They can see.
But anyway, Alice smashes in through the window on a motorbike, and I never really understood that, because, like, could she see in the church? Could she see that they needed help from outside?
I mean, what if she was just trying to be cool?
Maybe. She's super powered in this, right?
I think she just has super strength, not her mind control yet.
Right, okay. She's, like, backflipping and kung fu kicking and all this.
And kicking dogs.
That's right, yeah. She's got, like, double shotguns or something. It's all too much. Everything in this movie is just too much.
Yeah, I remember in one of the later installments we're not getting to, and I just remembered this. But she puts coins as a shotgun shell.
I think that's the next one.
What? No, it's not, because it has the Luther in it.
Oh, no, you're totally right. It's the one on the boat later on.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about Jill real quick, because at the very, very start of the movie, they recreate the scene from the RE3 game when Jill's like sat on her bed loading her pistol, and it looks pretty dead on actually. And the camera pans across her wall to give you a bit of exposition, and it mentions that she has like been suspended from the Stars team because of the Art Clay Mountains incident. Which is wild, because, like, what does that mean? Does that mean that, like, RE1 happened and we just didn't see it?
Which is a lot worse.
Yeah.
I'd rather see it.
Yeah, totally, yeah. So yeah, in this movie, RE1 did happen. We just weren't around to see it.
Wow.
So dumb.
That's actually sad.
So I like that bit, but I also really like the intro of Carlos and the other guys, because it basically remakes the intro to RE3. Do you remember they have like a huge street battle with the zombies and the RPD?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool, that scene.
Yeah.
Everyone's like throwing grenades, and then the zombies overpower the police. And I think it even does that shot from the intro where it zooms in on the helmet on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So there's cool stuff in this movie.
There is. I think this is probably the best one, which I know you said you shouldn't say the best one. They're all bad.
The best of the lot.
It's like, I remember a lot of people bring this up, but it's just like better dog shit.
Yeah.
Like comparing dog shit. I'd rather eat a fresh, steamy one than a cold, hard one. Don't ask my reasoning.
No, it's beautiful. I hope you noted that down.
Oh, shit. I don't know, but that's on the internet now.
It is. It will be used against you. Do you remember Carlos jumping out of a helicopter and shooting zombies with two guns whilst he's falling?
What?
Yeah, that happens. It's in this movie. It's near the beginning, and it's where there's like a woman running up an office building, and the zombies chasing her, and she gets to the roof, and she's like, "Help!" And Carlos is in a chopper, and he's like, "We've got to help her!" And he jumps out the helicopter with two guns and just fires and kills all the zombies while he's falling.
God, I love that movie. I love it for the worst reasons possible.
Some weird stuff in this movie. Do you remember Nikolai is in this movie from the games?
Yes.
In name only.
Name only. I don't think he says anything either.
I'm going to correct you there. He says two things. He turns up.
Yeah.
He turns up at the school and shoots a dog, and then says, "Stay." That's his first line.
All right.
Pretty golden.
I respect that. Nice.
And then he says, "My name is Nikolai," and then he's immediately killed, and that's it. That's all we get of him.
This is so sad. I've never been more sad in my life.
So, Nikolai in the games is obviously a villain. He's like an evil mastermind posing as a soldier. And the thing is, maybe that's what he was in the movie. We don't know. Because he's killed off so quickly.
I think he was.
Well, we don't know.
I really hope he wasn't.
Jill is also kind of shit with zombies. She's like, when her buddy, the Stars team guy, gets bitten, Alice is like, I gotta shoot him, and Jill's like, no, don't do it. But it's like, no, movie, you've already said that RE1 happened. Like, Jill is past this now. You see where I'm coming from?
It's sad. Yeah, I get you. Sadly.
Yeah. So a lot of this movie as well, from what I remember, is Jill doing something cool and then Alice turning up and ruining it. That's basically what a lot of this movie is.
Jill does something cool. Alice does something cooler.
That's basically it, isn't it? And the key example is in the school when like the dogs are attacking and she turns on the gas and then throws her a cigarette or something. And but
talking about Jill or Alice?
This is Jill. Jill, she throws her cigarette or a match or something, but it blows out in the air. And it's like, oh, she nearly did something cool. And then Alice appears with a cigarette and spits it out and blows the room up. Dumb. Just let Jill do something. You know what I mean? You brought her along for the movie. Just let her do something.
Dude, the power of simping for one's wife is too powerful.
Speaking of cigarettes, I don't know if you remember this, but like everyone in this movie smokes. Like every character.
No, you guys can all blame it on Umbrella, but secretly cigarettes are making you guys zombies. Stop smoking today.
So like Jill smoking at the start. LJ is smoking. Alice smokes because she uses a cigarette to blow up the thing. The doctor guy, Dr. Ashford, he's smoking while he's on the computer. Everyone goddamn smokes in this movie. I don't know why. It's weird. You don't see that anymore, but whatever.
Oh, Carlos, I remember, smoked.
Yeah,
a lot. Especially in the third movie.
Yeah. So, moving towards the end of this movie, actually, the second act, the third act, kind of the second and third act of this movie is a lot of Alice fighting Nemesis, and I think that stuff is mostly pretty good.
Except for the final one.
But then there's the final one when they go in for a helicopter in this big. It's kind of an awesome location. It looks like a big corporate building, whatever, courtyard, and. There's a really crap fight scene that starts with Alice running down a building for no reason.
Dude, I just don't think you understand how important running down buildings are. It's good for your health.
Someone had to do it, and she did. And that's the part in the trailer that has like the amazing like early 2000s progressive rock soundtrack. So cool.
And then there's the 1 second, the evil corporation voice.
Yeah, that's right. And there's Umbrella goons there that are just wearing like motorbike helmets, I think.
I wear motorbike helmets, definitely.
Multiple. It's kind of crap, and they have a really kind of rubbish fight scene. And then the bad guy, Major Kane, is like comes out and he's like, "I'm the bad guy, and this was all a plan so that you and Nemesis would fight for some reason."
Well, I think it's because like we need to find the ultimate bioweapon.
Seems like an elaborate way to do it. I don't know, but
I mean, just like put them in like a fucking boxing ring. I don't know.
And as good as you think Nemesis looks, he looks bad when he's in a fist fight.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he can move very much in that suit.
Not at all. So Alice just beats the living crap out of him in a fist fight.
Oh, it's bad. It's
so bad.
It also kind of defeats the point in RE3 because the whole point of RE3 is that Nemesis could easily kill Jill. Like he's so much stronger that he could rip her in half. But Jill is just so scrappy and stuff that she just keeps coming out on top and outwitting him. But that's not this. In this, it's just that Alice punches him more.
It is so dumb.
And then she like looks in his eyes and she's like, "Oh no, you're the guy from Ugly Betty, I remember," or something. Yeah.
That's very important.
That's what she says. What does Nemesis do? Doesn't he shoot a helicopter down or something?
I think he shoots a helicopter down on himself.
Oh yeah, because it does the bit from Code Veronica, right, where she's running from the helicopter. It like recreates that scene.
I don't know. I've never played Code Veronica.
Oh, it's in the intro. There's a scene where Claire is like running from a helicopter that's shooting at her, and it literally does that exact same scene. And I'm okay with that, like because it's like something from the game. And then the helicopter falls on him. How does the bad guy die? You said you remembered how he dies. I don't remember.
So more or less, there's like a helicopter, and my guy is trying to negotiate with them and be like, "Hey, let me live. I can help." And then he's just left down to be eaten by a zombie horde. I didn't like it.
Oh.
Because he also tried to shoot himself, but he ran out of bullets. So
oh my god,
I didn't like it.
I remember the line that LJ says. Do you remember the line? I've just remembered.
No.
the bad guy runs onto the helicopter and he's like, "Why aren't we taking off yet?" And then LJ turns around and says, "Because I usually drive a Cadillac."
God, LJ.
Oh man, so good.
LJ is bae.
He is, and then and the ending is kind of weird in this movie. The
'cause
city
they
blows up
crash,
and they crash, don't
they
they?
come back.
Yeah.
They crash. That's what I just said.
And I agreed.
I know.
And we get the Dr. Isaacs, who kind of becomes like a main villain for the whole series, I think.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy that turns up at the end, played by
Oh.
Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones.
Um,
And like, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one where she wakes up and she kills the guy through the security camera by like melting his brain or something.
Because apparently she's a psychic now.
She's a psychic, yeah. And then Carlos and Jill and LJ turn up in like black suits, if you remember.
And they rescue her.
Yeah, they're like disguised as umbrella guys, which is odd because surely they all know what they look like.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, Carlos was part of the UBCS. He worked for Umbrella. Surely they know what he looks like.
So did Alice. Well, I mean,
Yeah, but yeah, it's weird. Anyway, they drive off, and then there's like a shot of her eyes like turning into the umbrella symbol. This movie's worse than I remember.
It is. It is.
Anyway, we've made it to number 3.
So probably the movie that I had the highest expectations for.
Do you remember what year this one came out?
I'm thinking 2006.
You are very close. It was 2007.
Oh, that's a year.
Yeah. Do you know what came out in 2007? Do you want me to give you a summary of some of the things that were going on at that time?
Sure.
We got I Am Legend. That was 2007.
Yeah, I like that movie.
28 Weeks Later. That was 2007.
Never saw the sequel.
Epic Movie. That was 2007. So yeah, a lot going on.
Oh no.
A lot going on.
Yeah, an epic movie. I think Pokemon Generation 4 came out in 2007.
Wow, you may be right. Also that table tennis movie, Balls of Fury, that was 2007. So it's a real big year for cinema.
See that?
It's a real big year for cinema. This movie's insane, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, this is where the series really takes a turn.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Go on then.
At first, I thought, I can get behind this. I think it'll be nice. Then, guess who shows up?
Me.
Yes. Raspien shows up, and it makes the movie the best movie.
Raspien, who was an Umbrella employee.
Who worked at Umbrella.
Correct.
Who happened to know how to work at Umbrella.
So, before you tell me the storyline, I want you to describe this movie in one sentence. Oh, okay. You want me to tell you the story? How would you describe this movie in one sentence?
Mad Max zombies.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the storyline. So, the virus has spread since the first movie. It got out of Raccoon City, it spread, and it's taken over the whole world. So the world has now ended, and we're in the post-apocalypse now. But also, because of some weird movie science, the whole world is a desert now. And I've had this argument before where someone says, no, it's just because they're like in the desert because they go to Las Vegas. And I say, no. In the intro, they say the whole world is a desert. And it is.
What?
Yeah, the whole world becomes a desert.
Here's the argument that I just disproved in my mind while you were talking. Maybe the T virus killed all the plants, which we know is false because Plant 42 exists. So. And
Alice actually explains in the opening monologue why the world is a desert. She says because because all the people went away, because all the people are dead, global warming happened or something, and now everywhere's a desert. But
humans would actually make it better.
Yeah, lack of humans, the ozone layer would clear up, wouldn't it? But no, everywhere.
They clearly did not pay attention.
It's so odd.
Global warming classes down.
It really feels like one of those things where this was a different movie, and then they made it into a Resident Evil movie at the last minute. But it's not that case. Yeah. This always was the movie that Paul W. S. Anderson wanted to make. It's so far gone from any of the Resident Evil movies now, from any of the Resident Evil games.
It just confuses me, man.
So you're right. It's very Mad Max. Everyone's like in a survivor convoy. We get Claire in this one.
They ruined her.
Claire Redfield is in this. Well, I don't know if they ruined her. She's just kind of nothing in this movie.
She didn't have a fucking ponytail.
You sound really muffled, by the way. Yeah, you went really muffled there.
She doesn't have a goddamn ponytail. That's
Yeah,
all that matters to me.
she's the hair's long and it's down. She's the girl from
Not a ponytail.
Final Destination. She's the girl from that. She's fine. She just doesn't do anything. More importantly,
In
this
movie, yeah, she doesn't really.
more importantly, this movie has Kmart, the new character.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Fan favorite Kmart.
Is
God,
my favorite.
so dumb. And they're like, do you remember the explanation as to why she's called Kmart?
Yes, I do.
Go on then.
They found her in a Kmart.
And I think she says that her name was bad, so she decided to call herself Kmart. How bad must your name be to decide?
I don't think there's any name. Yeah, for example, they found me in the womb. My name's the womb.
They found me in an outhouse, so my name's Shithead. And that's what I go with now, yeah. So bad. Do you remember this movie starts with Alice being, like, kidnapped by bandits?
What?
Yeah, so Alice is cruising around on her motorbike, and she goes to a building or something. But anyway, she gets captured by like Mad Max style bandits. One of them even has a mohawk, so it's full post-apocalyptic bandits. And they drop her in like a Thunderdome with dogs. Do you not remember this?
And she kicks the fucking dogs.
She actually punches one of them in the face and kills it in one punch.
But does she kick a dog?
Well, I don't mean you probably imagine in your brain me like a sideways punch, where she punches the side of the cheek. No, I mean front on in the nose. She punches it.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God!
It's bad.
How does that work?
It's rough. But then I think the dogs kill the bandits and she just leaves. And the scene, you could cut that scene from the movie and the movie would still make total sense. Like, it doesn't add anything to the movie.
It doesn't really.
So
I didn't even remember it. So yeah.
So what's going down in this movie is Carlos, LJ, no Jill. Jill is gone and never mentioned. She's just not in this movie.
She straight up. I think they were like, "Oh, she died. She didn't die."
Yeah.
By the way.
Just she's the best thing about the previous movie. She's gone, but Carlos is here, so that's good. And so is
I
LJ.
like Carlos.
He is pretty cool, yeah.
And Kmart.
And Kmart and Claire, and they're just. I can't remember what they're doing. I think they're just driving. That's all. They're not really going
think they're
anywhere.
just trying to survive.
Yeah. Because it's when Alice turns up and she's like, I found a book or something that talks about Alaska. And she's like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you remember? She's like, we've got to get to Alaska. And they're like, and Claire's like, we haven't got enough fuel.
Alaska's
We have to go to
so
Vegas. And that's why they go to Vegas.
Alaska's. Yep.
Meanwhile,
If you've never been to Vegas before,
I've never been to Vegas or Alaska. So
I've been to Vegas, never Alaska.
How was Vegas?
When I went there, I wasn't able to do anything because I was a child. So.
Did you play the slots? Did you watch a Celine Dion show?
Yes, obviously.
Did you go see the Blue Man Group?
Actually, I did see the Blue Man Group.
Did you really? Wow.
I've seen them more than once.
Well, you're a real bluehead.
Yeah.
I've seen your tattoos.
But I saw the Blue Man Group in Universal Studios.
Wow.
And they had a concert at Dallas. So
they came to you.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, they came to me, and then I came to them later.
That was only fair. Well, sadly, they are not in this movie.
Blue Man Group?
Well, they might be. Maybe they cameoed. But
they did, obviously.
But this movie kind of has two sides to it, because there's the Mad Maxy stuff, but then it cuts to like the Umbrella stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super weird. Because the umbrella
They're
still
like,
acts like
oh,
a.
in 20 years from now, you'll be able to resurface again.
I just love how they still act like a company. Like they're having a board meeting and they're all wearing
Yeah.
suits and stuff. And
I
it's
mean, they're
like
all under bunkers, so I
they're,
think they're
they're all
fine.
they're all having like a Skype call, aren't they? Because they're in different bunkers.
Hmm.
And one of them's like, "I'm in Tokyo" or something. I can't remember.
Oh, I remember. I don't know if it's the next movie or the movie or this movie, but Alice finds clones of herself and she makes a clone army.
That is this movie. That's how this movie ends. But Albert Wesker's in this
Oh my
movie as
god.
well.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
for,
just don't get attached to this version of Albert Wesker. Oh my
well, also
god.
he doesn't do anything in this movie. He's just sat at a boardroom table.
Yep.
It's Dr. Isaacs that's like the main villain of this movie, and he even like he turns into a tyrant later on. Well, kind
Was
of
it a
a.
tyrant?
It's kind of a tyrant. It's like a big T virus man. It's
With a tentacle arm, so I
yeah.
get.
So
That's
so other things that happen in this movie is Dr. Isaac. This movie rips off Day of the Dead so much. Holy hell, it rips it off so bad. Um, Dr. Isaac's compound looks exactly like the compound from Day of the Dead. It's got like the chain link fence going around it. And he's like stealing zombies and teaching them tricks and stuff. You still there?
yeah,
Okay, good.
definitely not paying attention.
Oh, great. This is going well.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just only thinking about Kmart, man.
She is good, yeah.
That's Kmart's my favorite character of all Resident Evils.
She should get her own game.
She is her own game.
But Dr. Isaacs makes angry zombies. That's what I remember. He makes super angry zombies that they set on the main characters. And I think there's a cowboy sniper in this one as well, right?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. This one's got a different one. And he sits on like the Eiffel Tower in Vegas, not in France, in Vegas. And he gets killed by angry zombies. I think LJ gets bitten by angry zombies.
LJ gets bitten, and then he tries to smash it. Wait, no, I think Angry Zombie bites girl. LJ smashed girl. Girl eat LJ while smashing.
And LJ bites Carlos.
LJ fake. Yes.
Real jerk move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Do you remember the crows as well? This movie's got crows in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Alice burns them with her mind.
She does full firebending and just like conjures fire and sets
combustion bending.
That's the one, yeah. And she like sets the whole sky on fire, which is a cool looking shot, but it makes no sense. It's very dumb.
It's like fucking Wesker, man.
So, if I remember correctly, this movie ends with Carlos sacrificing himself by blowing up a hole in the chain link fence so the characters can run into the compound.
A cigarette.
He smokes a cigarette, he does, you're right. This movie's got a real pro-cigarette sub-theme, this series.
And he's like, oh wow, I found one. And then he just lights one, he's like...
It's like, kaboom.
Yeah, I'm cool. Which, honestly, Carlos's death hurt. I liked Carlos.
He's cool. And I think the series lost something when they lost him. But he actually comes back later on. I'm sure we'll get to that at some point. Anyway,
well, I'm not hoping next week because
so
I don't want to watch the fucking movies.
No, you have to take your time with these movies because they'll kill you if you're watching too many of them at once.
Oh, like me and my dad who binged them.
Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine that. Your brain would melt out of your ears.
Oh no, my brain melted. His didn't. As I said, he's not a fan of the games. I tried to get him to play RE2 Remake.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he even... Did he get to the PlayStation? No, he didn't.
What? That's less than a minute into the game.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
He got to the part where you get the key, and there's like the posters there. So
okay.
That's all I remember from his playthrough.
Wild. So one thing I don't know if you remember is this movie ends with Alice going into the lab. I think Claire and Kmart escape in a helicopter. And Alice is
Best
like,
character.
Indeed. Alice is like exploring the lab, and it actually feels a bit Resident Evil. And she's like exploring this now
Yeah,
decimated lab. And she fights Dr. Isaacs, who is now a tyrant, but he is also psychic. Do you remember this? Because
I just
she uses like a psychic blast on him, and then he does the same thing back. Whoa!
like a mirror.
Um, but also they go to the mansion from the first movie. It's like a recreation of the
In this
mansion.
one?
In this one, yeah.
Oh God,
But
I
it's
don't
like
remember this one.
it's like a training area that's made to look like the mansion from the first one.
So like, I'm trying to think of the most recent example that comes to mind, which like the pod thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, which works for literally everything because Nuketown exists.
agreed. But do you remember how Dr. Isaacs dies?
Uh,
How
Elevator
Alice?
falls on him.
No,
Door.
no,
That's Wesker.
that's
Out of
Wesker,
this
and it's
movie.
bad.
It's so bad.
No, she. The clue is in the fact that we revisit the mansion from the first movie because she goes through a door into the laser corridor,
Oh
and the lasers
yeah.
dice him. Yeah,
Okay, that's actually decent.
it's pretty cool, and it's a callback. It works. I think that's fine. Do you remember the very end of
Yeah.
this movie? How this movie ends?
No. Wait,
She
I'm Clone War thing.
clones, yeah, the Clone Wars, correct. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones happens.
Hmm.
No, she interrupts an Umbrella Zoom call with Wesker, and she's like, "I'm coming to get you, Johnny Wesker." That's not what she says. And
Johnny Wesker, exactly.
I'm bringing all my stunt doubles, and that's it. That's the whole movie. Um,
Mhm.
do you, I seem to remember that I enjoyed the third one the most, but it's not a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, I
Like,
liked the first part of it. That's what I remember. Then Alice ruined it with her mind powers.
I
I
think
was like, oh shit.
I see. I think I only liked the end of this movie when she's in the lab, which is like the last
Uh
5 minutes of the whole movie. I would say. Um,
Yeah, there's some good parts of the movie, which is kind of sad that the rest of it sucks.
yeah, I think you can enjoy this movie if you treat it as just a Mad Max with zombies. Don't treat it as a Resident Evil movie,
Hmm.
because it's not, and the series will never be again.
Yeah, only the first two could be considered Resident
Yeah,
Evil movies.
and it's so mad that there's like, I think there's 7 movies in total in the series, maybe 6.
I think there's 8 or 7.
Yeah, well, however many they are, it's mad that after the second one, they're all post-apocalyptic,
Yeah,
and that never happened in the games. Like, it's so odd that the movies went down that route, a route that the games never took.
yeah, it's strange, but like, there's some enjoyability in them. Usually making fun of them,
Yes, and also
but
we've started to see the theme that would carry on for the rest of the series of one movie Alice has got powers, the next one she doesn't.
and then the next one she does.
She's got powers again, and then she loses them again, and it very much feels like every one of these movies, Paul W.S. Anderson forgot what happened in the last one.
And I also think Mila, real fans call her Mila. Um,
Oh yeah,
Mila's like, oh yeah, I don't like how Alice has powers because it's not authentic to the games.
yeah.
So it was like,
Apparently, she really didn't like the second one because it had too much action in it. Did you hear about this?
yeah, wait, really?
Yeah, apparently she was really unhappy with the second one because she wanted there to be more story, but the studio wanted it to be an action movie.
I respect her.
So
I do not respect her
she,
husband though.
she seems like a lot of fun. She seems like she just loves everything she does. And you know what? If you're going to make a garbage movie, at least enjoy yourself. So,
They must
and
have been fun to record though, or
totally. And
film.
I think she's really charming in these movies. I think, like, even though her character is kind of silly, I think she is just really cool in these. So,
Yeah,
So yeah, these movies are terrible. They're not really very Resident Evil, but they're harmless. like,
They don't
like,
really detract anything from the games, so they're
no,
kind of just enjoyable by themselves. If
totally.
you go in there with a different mindset.
Yeah, you've got to be prepared to not think. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, but and they also kind of have their own lore that they develop, which is mad and makes no sense and it's inconsistent and whatever. But it's at least it's its own thing. So I still never recommend that anybody watch these. Though. And that's it. I think we did it right.
Unless, okay, you can watch it unless wait, don't watch it unless if you're ready to make fun of it. That's my philosophy. And yes,
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Okay, well, I think we did it. We'll take a break from the movies because it might kill us if we watch
Hmm.
more of these movies, and they get worse.
They do
They get way worse. So I think we've seen the best of these ones.
so
Uh,
far, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it for this week. I've been Raspien.
I've been Jario.
You've been whatever name you've decided this week. That's fine. And
Jario. Well, okay. Identity crisis. Let me
okay,
have one.
okay, well, that's fine. You've earned it.
Thank you.
And we will catch you, lovely people, next time.
Yep. See ya, gamers.